I teamed up with YouTubes to make my first ever plushie. This little guy is not only super cute, but also pretty soft. He can also do something that no other plushie can do. Just watch this. His arm wiggles. But for real, this is the first item I have ever sold. So if you guys could get one, that would genuinely mean the world to me. All you have to do is click the first link in the description or the link in the pinned comment. I think the YouTube's team did a fantastic job recreating my character, and I think you all are genuinely going to love it. Thank you all so much and enjoy the video.
No way! I found the golden amethyst portal! That's literally so rare! Yay!
I'm pretty sure I found the funniest fake Minecraft speedrun because the speedrunner is absolutely terrible at hiding the fact that they're literally cheating. This speedrunner loads into the world and we can immediately see a village in front of them and a ruined portal to their left, which is incredibly lucky for a speedrun. The speedrunner immediately heads towards the ruined portal and they open the chest to find some pretty decent loot. But listen to what they say.
Okay, chest, you better have super duper good loot. Okay, we got a shovel and we got some okay loot, I guess. It's not that bad, whatever. But personally, I've seen better loot, but it's fine, I guess.
They said that they got some okay loot, but the loot was actually pretty good, especially considering that they now have 3 diamonds. But wait, they started the speedrun with absolutely nothing, and they opened the chest and there was no diamonds. So where did they get 3 diamonds? Well, you see, as they were looting the chest, a sudden cut happens and they magically gained 3 diamonds. And if I'm being completely honest, at first I did not see this. So the speedrunner almost got away with it. Well, now that they finished looting the chest, they begin making their way inside of the village when they suddenly say this.
Okay, this place better have the best loot I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, come on.
But wait, did you see that? Well, if we rewind the footage and then pause it here, we can see what appears to be a panda on the right side of the screen. But this is very confusing considering that pandas cannot even spawn inside of Plains biome because they can only spawn inside of the nether. So a panda being right here is completely fake. Well, the speedrunner begins mining hay bales when they say something pretty funny.
We need them hay bales. You already know we need them hay bales. Yes, Queen Slay. We need them hay bales.
Yeah, there is something wrong with the speedrunner. But they begin breaking down a villager's house, which they then turn into a crafting table so that way they can make themselves a diamond axe. Now that they have a diamond axe, they begin hunting down the iron golem.
All right, Mr. Iron Golem. Hiya! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Are you ready to die, Iron Golem? Hiya! 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 Oh, I missed.
The speedrunner eventually kills the iron golem, giving them 4 iron. So the speedrunner uses the 4 iron to make themselves an iron pickaxe and also a flint and steel. But listen to what they say.
I guess I can make an iron pickaxe with that. And then I have 1 left over. Oh my goodness, what are the chances? Because now I can make flint and steel.
Yeah, I guess they got pretty lucky that they got exactly 4 iron, which was a perfect amount that they needed. Well, the speedrunner then begins going inside of each villager's houses and breaking their bed. But before they do that, I have something to tell you. You see, I only have 7 subscribers and I really want to reach 8 subscribers. So if just one of you could subscribe, that would genuinely mean the world to me. But listen to what the speedrunner says about this.
All right, so now I'm gonna need to grab a little bit of beds. Villager, get out of the bed, you dumb villager. I need that bed. Oh, villager, get out of the bed. I need to get it.
But I noticed something very weird when they were doing this. Well, each time they broke a villager's bed, the villager was sleeping inside of it. But if we look back at the footage when they were outside, it is clearly daytime. So why is the villager sleeping? Well, I wasn't too sure, so I asked ChatGPT, and they said that this happens whenever they turn the daylight cycle off, which is something you're not allowed to do inside of a speedrun, which means that the speedrunner's world is either glitched or they're definitely cheating. Well, now that the speedrunner has a few beds, they then decide to do something very crazy.
Oh my god, big jump, hiya! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I made it, no way! I didn't even fall at all, I didn't even fall.
Okay, let's be honest, we all saw that they very clearly did not make that jump, which, if I'm being completely honest, is absolutely embarrassing. Well, the speedrunner finds a farm and begins mining some potatoes and some wheat. But wait, did you see that? Well, you see, if we rewind the footage and then we pause it here, we can see what appears to be a piece of iron behind this grass. But that is deep splate iron, which can only spawn spawn very deep underground. So either the speedrunner's world is glitched once again, or the speedrunner placed it there themselves. Well, either way, they completely ignore it, and then they begin making their way towards the ruin portal. But wait, if I pause it here, there's something wrong about this frame of the video. And in case you haven't seen it yet, then here, I'll show you. Right here, we can see an iron golem. But the speedrunner had already killed the iron golem earlier in the speedrun, and each village only has one iron golem, which leads me to believe that the speedrunner probably placed down an iron golem before they started the speedrun. But the speedrunner begins constructing the ruin portal, and just listen to what they say.
And boom, shakalaka. Hiya. Okay, let's go.
So they begin loading into the nether, and something absolutely crazy happened.
Oh my goodness. This is a terrible nether spawn. Oh my blazes. What the sigma? Why are there so many blazes? Holy moly, macaroni, shaboni, caconi.
Holy moly, macaroni, shaboni, caconi. Are we being serious right now? And why the heck are there a bunch of blazes just not moving? Especially considering that blazes can only spawn inside of nether fortresses, and there's very clearly not a single nether fortress in sight. So I am very confused. Well, the speedrunner begins killing the AFK blazes when they suddenly say this.
No blaze rods, are you serious? Hiya. Oh my god, drop blaze rods. Oh my god, come on, please. Why are we dropping no blaze rods? There we go, finally. Oh my goodness, I'm so unlucky. I just need more blaze rods. Please. Barely giving me any blaze rods. I think I'm just so unlucky. This entire speedrun, I've just been so unlucky. Oh, okay, there we go.
There's no way the speedrunner is trying to say that they've been unlucky this entire speedrun. They literally spawned inside of a village with a ruin portal right there. So there's no way they really think that they have gotten super unlucky. Well, now that they have 6 blaze rods, they turn it into blaze powder and begin going back inside the nether portal. But once they get back inside the overworld, just wait to see what happens, because this next part is absolutely crazy.
Oh, Enderman, where are you? If I was an Enderman, I would probably inside of a cave somewhere is where I would be. So I might as well check the cave.
The speedrunner drops down below into the cave when suddenly this happens.
Oh, Enderman. Wait, is that an Enderman? No way! Oh, my Enderman, there's so many. Oh my goodness, Enderman, I'm gonna need your balls.
Okay, this speedrunner is so weird. Please do not word it like that ever again. And once again, why the heck are there a bunch of AFK Endermen? I am genuinely confused. So if anybody else knows how the heck the speedrunner did this, then please let me know. The speedrunner kills every single Enderman, which somehow only gives them 5 Ender Pearls. But wait, they're not done. Just listen to what they say next.
There's no way I only got 5 Ender Pearls. Oh my goodness, wait a minute. I have an idea. If I go over here, and then I come right here, and I mine this block, and then I pick it up, and then I come back over here, there should be Enderman. Oh my god, it worked! No way it worked!
Are we being serious right now? Literally 3 seconds ago, we saw that they killed every single Enderman. And I don't think breaking a random block will randomly spawn in 20 Endermen. That's just not how Minecraft works. Well, once again, the speedrunner kills every single Enderman, but they only get 10 Ender Pearls. But the thing is, they need 12 Ender Pearls to be able to activate the end portal. Now for this next part, pay very close attention to the video, because something very suspicious is about to happen.
Come on, please. Oh my god, there's no way I'm missing 2 Ender Pearls. You know what? I'm done. Oh, wait, I think I looked at it wrong. I actually do have 12. Oh, silly me. I thought it said 10. I'm so silly.
Guys, am I going crazy? Because I'm pretty sure they had 10 Ender Pearls. And literally a whole second later, they now have 12. But I'm pretty sure I know what they did. You see, if we look at the timer in the top left corner, we can see it go from 8 minutes and 56 seconds to 9 minutes and 20 seconds. So I'm pretty sure that the speedrunner just gave themselves Ender Pearls, but cut it out of the speedrun. And they did a horrible job of hiding it. Well, now that the speedrunner has 12 Ender Pearls, they turn them into Eyes of Ender and begin making their way out of the cave. Now that they're out of the cave, listen to what they say, because this next part is very suspicious.
Alright, so I would look where the stronghold is, but I don't really feel like it. I'm just pretty sure it's in this direction somewhere, because I'm just feeling it in my bones. You know how it is? Oh my god! Oh my god! god! What the heck? Oh my god! Spooky pig? What the heck? Die, spooky pig! Die, spooky pig! Die! Die, spooky pig!
Okay, there is no way 100 million pigs just spawned on top of the speedrunner. This part is just simply fake. But the speedrunner completely ignores the spooky pigs and begins wandering in a completely random direction.
Oh my goodness, get out of here, spooky pigs. I don't even know how that happened. I think that was like a glitch. Alright, so now I just have to try to find something.
But wait, did you see that? Well, in case you didn't, if we rewind the footage and then pause it here, we can see a small piece of puzzle in the ground. But obviously, puzzle does not just randomly spawn on the floor like this, which means the speedrunner probably placed it themselves. And you'll see why I say this very, very soon.
There it is. This piece of dirt. What's down here? What the heck is down there? I'm scared. Oh my god! Is that Kevin? No way! It's Kevin, the super rare zombie with the diamond sword! You know what, Kevin? Die! Die, Kevin, die! Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin.
The speedrunner really just killed Kevin the zombie who only had a diamond sword. But also, there was very clearly an entire end portal just sitting there. And this looks nothing like a stronghold. So if I'm being completely honest, I am pretty sure that the speedrunner built this themselves. I mean, just listen to what they say.
But wait a minute. Oh my god, it's an end portal too? Oh my god, that's so rare! And that's so lucky and so rare!
But the speedrunner places in all of the eyes of Ender, and once they're the end, wait, let me pause it. Do you see anything suspicious? Well, in case your eyes are closed, there is clearly an entire outline of an ender dragon right here. And that's when the speedrunner says this.
Whoa, what the heck is that? What is that? What is that? Did the ender dragon glitch again? Oh my goodness. Let's ignore that. What the heck? Oh my god, the ender dragon glitched. Wait a minute, ender dragon. Are you in a boat? Oh my god, you silly ender dragon. You're so silly. How'd you get in a boat?
Do they really expect us to believe that the ender dragon glitched inside of a boat? Because last time I checked, an ender dragon could not fit inside of a tiny boat. But you never know, I could be wrong. Well, since the ender dragon is unfortunately stuck inside of a boat, the speedrunner jumps through the portal and beats the speedrun with a time of 12 minutes and 12 seconds.
This speedrunner starts by loading into the world, where immediately we can see not one, but two ruined portals. And I'm sorry to say this right off the start, but this is completely fake. Because ruined portals can only spawn within a 67 block radius of each other. And if we look at these two ruined portals, this is definitely less than 67 blocks. Okay, well, if we completely ignore the ruined portals, we can also see that there is a village right in front of them. So this has got to be a very good seed for a speedrun. Well, the speedrunner immediately starts off by looting the ruined portal chest, where they surprisingly find some pretty normal loot, like some golden nuggets, a golden apple, a golden axe, and even golden boots. All things that are actually possible for a ruined portal to spawn, so nothing seems too suspicious. The speedrunner loots absolutely everything out of the chest. But hold on a second, I just realized something. If we rewind the footage and pause it right here, we can see that the ruined portal is already finished. But don't get me wrong, that's not impossible. There is just a 0.00067% chance of that happening. So either the speedrunner is extremely lucky, or they might be cheating. But once they finish looting the ruined portal chest, they use their golden axe to collect wood from a tree. And after collecting 7 logs, they head into the village and begin collecting some hay bales for food later in the speedrun. But if I pause it right here, there was actually something about this frame that is completely fake. And in case you didn't see it, then here, I'll show you. If we zoom in right here, we can see what appears to be a flint and steel floating in the water. And if you know anything about Minecraft, you know that flint and steel doesn't just randomly float in water like this. Which means it's likely that the speedrunner went inside a creative and threw a flint and steel inside of the water before the speedrun even started, which would actually be completely against the rules of speedrun. Well, the speedrunner continues mining all of the hay bales, and once they finish, they head directly over to the flint and steel and pick it up. This speedrunner is not sneaky at all. Well, the speedrunner then finds the iron golem, which they hit, and for some reason, it doesn't even attack them. And this is actually because whenever you build an iron golem yourself, it won't attack the person who created them, which is why the iron golem just sits there as the speedrunner kills it. And this alone would completely disqualify this as being a legit speedrun. But they continue attacking the iron golem until eventually it dies, giving them 5 iron ingots. pickaxe. And they even gain the advancement acquire hardware inside chat, which means that this is their first ever time collecting iron. And this made me think that the speedrun might actually be real after all. But that's what I thought at first, because what happens later in the speedrun is absolutely insane. Well, now that the speedrunner has 5 iron ingots, they turn their logs into planks. But wait just a second. Did you see that? Well, if we rewind the footage and pause it right here, we can see what appears to be a creeper pig. Okay, this is very weird because the creeper pig can only spawn inside of jungles. And well, if we look at where the speedrunner is, they are clearly not inside of a jungle. So a creeper pig being here is completely impossible. The speedrunner makes himself a crafting table and some sticks. They then place down the crafting table and make themselves an iron pickaxe, an iron sword, and a bunch of bread. They then head inside of a villager's house where they find a bed. And the speedrunner is likely going to collect this bed because beds are something that every single professional speedrunner always uses. But whenever the speedrunner breaks the bed, we can see 2 beds drop. How the heck is this even possible? The speedrunner places down another bed, and oh my god, how are there so many beds? I am so confused. Well, now that the speedrunner has about 67 beds, they then break their crafting table and begin heading back towards the ruin portal that we saw at the start of the speedrun. And once they're at the ruin portal, they wait, what the heck? Wait, what are you doing to that pig? Oh my god, what the heck? Okay. I am absolutely traumatized, but let's just move on. The speedrunner goes up to the ruin portal and holds a flint and steel. So they're likely gonna light the portal, right? Well, the speedrunner eats the flint and steel. Okay, what the heck is going on? The speedrun is absolutely cursed. Well, now the speedrunner doesn't have a flint and steel. So how are they gonna light the portal? Oh, okay, never mind, I guess. They take their new flint and steel, light the portal, and begin heading into the nether. But hold on just a second. You see, I currently have 0 subscribers, and it's always been my dream to one day reach 1 subscriber. So if you could be my first ever subscriber, then that would genuinely make my entire day. Okay, now back to the speedrun. And once there, everything seems pretty normal. They got the advancement we need to go deeper inside of chat, which means that this is their first ever time inside of the nether. So everything should be completely normal here. But of course, it's not. Because the speedrunner looks around for a little bit until they find an enderman. And as the speedrunner walks up to the enderman, we can see that the enderman is not moving. Even when the speedrunner hits the enderman, it still doesn't move. But when they kill it, tons of ender pearls drop everywhere. Okay, how are there that many ender pearls inside that enderman? That's a little bit weird. But now that the speedrunner has a bunch of ender pearls, they look around a little bit more until they find a blaze. This blaze is also not moving and drops tons of blaze rods. Yeah, this speedrun is absolutely insane. Well, now that the speedrunner has blaze rods and ender pearls, they turn their blaze rods into blaze powder and make themselves 16 eyes of ender. And now that they have everything they need to go to the end, they make their way back towards their nether portal and head back into the overworld. And once there, the speedrunner throws their eye of ender. Wait, what? Why are they heading in the opposite direction? Okay, well, the speedrunner continues heading in this direction until they suddenly find a singular piece of bedrock. The bedrock can only spawn at Y level -67, and we are literally on the surface, so a bedrock being right here is physically impossible. The speedrunner walks up to the bedrock and begins eating the bedrock. There's no way the speedrunner can eat the bedrock, right? Oh, okay, I guess not. They just ate the bedrock. Well, now that the bedrock is inside of the speedrunner's stomach, they begin digging straight down with their iron pickaxe until eventually they find the stronghold. Okay, this is a very weird looking stronghold, but whatever, we don't care anymore. This speedrun is clearly fake. They place in the last eye of ender and jump right into the end. And just like whenever they were inside the nether, we can see that they gain the advancement the end, which means that this is their first time in the end. The speedrunner throws their ender pearl and lands on the main island. They head towards the middle of the island and then set up their bed cycle to kill the ender dragon. But then the speedrunner tries to eat an enderman, which makes it very angry. And now there's 2 endermen chasing the speedrunner. So the speedrunner runs away, but then the dragon throws a fireball, which instantly kills the speedrunner. Okay, so even cheating, the speedrunner still could not beat the ender dragon. That was genuinely embarrassing. This speedrunner starts by loading into the world, where immediately we can see a ruin portal and also a village, which is a very good start for a speedrun. Well, the speedrunner immediately heads towards the ruin portal, where they open the chest and find normal loot, like obsidian, gold, pants, and an axe. All loot that is possible for a ruin portal to spawn, so nothing seems too suspicious yet. The speedrunner begins taking the loot out of the chest, and we can see that they gain the advancement Ice Bucket Challenge, which means that this is their first time touching obsidian. So the obsidian that they found in the chest could actually be real. Also, I just realized that the speedrunner's name is Mr. Beast 6.
block 7. What a very, unique name. Well, once the speedrunner finished looting the chest, they begin making their way towards the village. But hold on just a second. There was actually something that is already fake about the speedrun. Well, if we rewind the footage and then pause it right here, we can see that the golden axe had infinite durability, which is not a real enchantment inside of Minecraft. So something very sus is going on here. Well, once the speedrunner arrives at the village, they start entering villagers' houses and breaking their beds, which is actually something that pro speedrunners do all the time. They then begin breaking hay bales for food later in the speedrun. They then begin looking for the iron golem, but wait just a second. If we zoom in on the sheep, something is not right, because this is what a normal sheep looks like. And this sheep is, well, fat. And fat sheep are not inside of normal Minecraft. Well, the speedrunner completely ignores the sheep and eventually finds the iron golem. So they smack the iron golem, build 3 blocks up, and begin killing it. And once it dies, they get 3 iron ingots. And I'm not gonna lie, mostly everything has seemed pretty normal. But what happens at the end of the speedrun is absolutely insane. Well, now that the speedrunner has basically everything they need to go to the nether, they begin making their way back towards the ruin portal. But wait just a second. You see, this entire time, the speedrunner has had their microphone unmuted, and they're actually about to say something that makes the speedrun completely fake. And, well, I'll just let you listen to it for yourself.
Okay, so I need wood. I think this tree gives me obsidian, right? Oh yeah, there we go, yep. Alright, that's enough.
Yeah, the speedrunner walked up to this tree and then magically started getting obsidian. The speedrunner knew that this was going to happen because they literally said it out loud. The speedrunner is terrible at cheating. They use the wood to make a crafting table, and they make themselves a bucket and some bread. They then break the crafting table and arrive at the ruin portal to start making themselves a brand new portal. But the speedrunner starts constructing the portal in a very weird way, because once they're finished, we can see that this is clearly not a normal nether portal. So there's no way that they're gonna be able to light it, right? Well, the speedrunner opens up their inventory and realizes that they don't have a flint and steel. So they open up the ruin portal chest, and what the heck? How is there a flint and steel here? Because if we rewind the footage back to the start of the speedrun, we can see that there was no flint and steel inside of it at the beginning. So how the heck did they get a flint and steel inside of this chest? Well, I have no idea. But since they now have a flint and steel, they can go to the nether. But then the speedrunner somehow lights the portal. What the heck? I have no idea how the speedrunner somehow lit the portal when this is not a normal portal. I am so confused. Well, now the speedrunner has a portal, so they can go into the nether. But instead, the speedrunner decides to go back inside of the village, when out of nowhere, they somehow pick up a villager. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this speedrun is definitely cursed. Well, now that the speedrunner has taken this villager without its consent, they then begin heading into the portal. But hold on just a second. You see, I currently have 0 subscribers, and it's always been my dream to one day reach 1 subscriber. So if you could do me a huge favor and be my first ever subscriber, that would genuinely make my entire day. Okay, now back to the speedrun. The speedrunner loads into the nether, and we can immediately see that they gained the advancement we need to go deeper, which means that this is their first ever time inside of the nether. And not only that, we can also see a fortress directly in front of them, which means they must have gotten a pretty good spawn. Well, the speedrunner looks around for a little bit, and wait just a second. Do you see that? Well, if we zoom in right here, we can see what appears to be a, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what the heck this is. But this is definitely not inside of normal Minecraft. But regardless, the speedrunner completely ignores whatever the heck this is and heads into the fortress, where they place on their crafting table and make themselves a golden pickaxe. And as they head deeper into the fortress, we can see that there's also a bastion inside of the fortress. But this is very weird, because the bastion and the fortress are physically incapable of spawning inside of each other, which means that the speedrunner likely typed in a command to allow these two structures to spawn inside of each other, which, in case you were wondering, would be completely against the rules of speedrunning. But the speedrunner heads into the bastion, and we can immediately see a bunch of piglins that are already inside of a hole. And something tells me that the speedrunner made this hole themselves, because inside of a normal bastion, this hole is never here. Well, the speedrunner finds some chests, and all the loot seems pretty normal. They then begin dropping gold into the hole to try to get some more piglins to trade with. But suddenly, out of nowhere, the speedrunner starts digging into the wall where they find golden blocks. But these golden blocks never spawn behind this wall. As a matter of fact, I found this same exact bastion inside my own world, and this is what it usually looks like. So I can 100% confirm that the speedrunner placed down these golden blocks there themselves, which would completely disqualify the speedrun as being legit. Well, the speedrunner places down their crafting table and makes himself an iron pickaxe, that way they can now mine the gold. And that's when we find out that there was actually 10 golden blocks behind this wall, which makes this part of the speedrun even more fake. They turn all their golden blocks into golden ingots and then drop the piglins more gold. They then dig into the hole to pick up their trades. But when they open up their inventory, we can see that they have no ender pearls, which means that the speedrunner got pretty unlucky. But watch this next part very carefully, because the speedrunner closes their inventory, builds one block up, and then opens their inventory, and we can see 16 ender pearls. But if we look back 2 seconds ago, we can see that they had no ender pearls. So how the heck did they get 16? Well, if I'm being completely honest, I believe that the speedrunner went inside of creative and gave themselves these ender pearls, but just got it out of the run. And I'm not gonna lie, they almost got away with it. Well, now that the speedrunner has all of the ender pearls they need, they now just need blaze rods. So they run to the other side of the fortress, where they instantly find a blaze spawner, almost like they knew it was here. But of course, I don't know this for sure. The speedrunner arrives at the blazes, but I'm gonna pause it right here, because if we look inside chat, we can see that they gained the advancement into fire. But you can only gain this advancement if you pick up a blaze rod. And what do you know? Inside their hotbar is a blaze rod. But if we rewind the footage just a little bit, we can see that they had nothing in that hotbar slot. And within 2 seconds, they magically gained a blaze rod. But there was no blaze rod on the floor. So how the heck did they do this? Well, if we continue watching the run, we can see tons of blaze rods just falling all over the floor. And this is likely due to a command block that the speedrunner must have underneath the fortress. And well, since they can have an infinite amount of blaze rods, they just end up picking up all the blaze rods and then making their way back towards their portal. Once they're in the overworld, they turn their blaze rods into blaze powder and then make themselves 13 eyes of ender. They then throw their eye of ender and then begin heading in that direction. But as the speedrunner starts heading in this direction, they decide to do something very, very strange. Well, I'll just let you watch this part for yourself.
This speedrun's kind of boring. I'm gonna start playing some music, I guess.
Yeah, the speedrunner starts playing Mr. Beast music. What the heck is going on? Well, as they're listening to some music, they then randomly start digging straight down, where they find a massive cave. And inside this cave is the stronghold. Well, hold on a second. This part is clearly fake, because the stronghold can only spawn 67,000 blocks away from your spawn. And if I'm being completely honest, this is definitely not 67,000 blocks away, which means that this stronghold is definitely fake. Well, inside the stronghold, they find a red torch, and then they find another, and another, and they continue following these red torches, which brings them directly to the portal room. And now that they're here, they place in all of their eyes of ender, and they're now in the end. And all throughout this entire speedrun, the speedrunner has been cheating non-stop. So I'm hoping that the speedrunner will at least fight the ender dragon without cheating, to at least make this speedrun a little better. But then the speedrunner arrives at the island, where we can suddenly see a red sword. And once they pick it up, we can see that it's called the God Sword. What the heck? Well, now that the speedrunner has the God Sword, they begin chasing down the ender dragon, where they suddenly click the floor and tons of TNT starts falling down onto the dragon. And they do this more and more until the dragon eventually perches and they one-hit the ender dragon, beating the game and entering the portal with a time of 14 minutes and 39 seconds. All that cheating, and they still could not beat the world record. The speedrunner starts by creating their world, and everything seems pretty normal. But once they load in, we can see that they're looking slightly down at the ground. And whenever you start a new world, you're always looking perfectly straight, which means that there's actually a good chance that the speedrun could be fake. Now, in this first 5 seconds, I want you to watch the speedrunner very closely, because something seems off.
Oh my god, I love speedrunning. It's like my favorite thing to do. It's like, oh I love speedrunning. Yeah.
Did you see it? Well, as the speedrunner went inside of third person, we can see what appears to be a lucky block directly behind them, which is extremely weird because lucky blocks are not inside of normal Minecraft, as they can only be obtained with mods, which makes this part of the speedrun very suspicious. Well, the speedrunner makes their way deeper into the village where they find a chest that has leather boots. Listen to what they say.
Oh, boots? Are we serious? And toilet paper? Oh my goodness, I hate toilet paper. Ew, I'm gonna throw a toilet paper. Hiya! No more toilet paper, I hate toilet paper.
The speedrunner now has leather boots, and it may not seem like it right now, but these leather boots are gonna play a very important part later in the speedrun. Well, the speedrunner begins mining a tree where they gather 4 logs and make themselves a crafting table and craft a wooden pickaxe and a wooden axe. The speedrunner then begins looking for the iron golem, but just watch what happens next.
Alright, Iron Golem, I'm gonna kill you. Thank you for not attacking me, Iron Golem. That's like super nice of you.
Yeah, the speedrunner killed the iron golem, but for some reason it didn't attack them, which is very confusing because iron golems always attack someone who hits them. So the fact that this iron golem for some reason didn't attack is very suspicious. Well, now that the speedrunner has 3 iron ingots, they suddenly remember that they have to do a victory dance. Yeah, just watch this for yourself.
Oh wait, I almost forgot to do my victory dance for killing the Iron Golem. Are you ready, guys? Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! We killed the Iron Golem! We killed the Iron Golem! Yahoo! Yahoo! Yahoo!
I've never seen a speedrunner stop their speedrun to do a victory dance. And not only that, dancing is not even possible inside of Minecraft unless you have mods. So this likely means that the speedrunner is cheating. Well, the speedrunner explores more of the village where they suddenly find a lava pool. But once again, we can see something that is fake about the speedrun. And I'm just gonna let you watch this for yourself.
Oh my god, a lava pool! Yes! We needed that lava pool for like the longest times ever. Because I love lava pools, I can't even lie.
Did you see that? Well, the speedrunner suddenly gained the advancement Stone Age inside chat, but they weren't mining any stone. So how is this possible? Well, if we rewind the footage and then play it again from right here, we can see the speedrunner suddenly gain a bunch of cobblestone inside of their inventory. But if we look down at the ground, there was no stone on the floor. So how did they do this? Well, if I'm being completely honest, I have no idea. So if you know how they did this, then please let me know. Well, the speedrunner arrives at the lava pool, but wait just a second. This is what a normal lava pool looks like. And as we can see, there is usually stone around it. But if we look at the speedrunner's lava pool, there is no stone to be seen, which means that the speedrunner likely dug out a hole in the ground and just filled it up with lava, which would be against the rules of speedrunning. Well, the speedrunner places down their crafting table and makes an iron bucket. They fill the bucket up with water and they then begin constructing the nether portal. And I'm not gonna lie, the speedrunner actually knows what they're doing because they construct the nether portal completely normally. But what's not normal is what they do next.
Alright, so basically that's how you build the nether portal. It's pretty easy, I can't even lie. Right, now that we finished the nether portal, we can just light it, just like that. There we go.
Hold on just a second. Did you see that? Well, the speedrunner opened up their inventory where they suddenly had a flint and steel. But if we rewind the footage 20 seconds ago, we can see that they had no flint and steel. So the fact that they now have a flint and steel is completely fake. Well, once the speedrunner loads into the nether, they use what they call a new speedrunner strategy. And this new speedrunner strategy is something I've never seen before. Well, just watch it for yourself.
Now I just have to try to find where a northern fortress would be. There is like a new speedrunner technique. If you go like this, and then you like smack the top, you can try to calculate where it's gonna be, and there should be one, oh, right over there. Oh my god, straight ahead.
Okay, there's no way that building this weird structure leads them directly to a nether fortress. This is just impossible. And if you think this new speedrunner strategy is insane, then you should see what the speedrunner does at the end, because it is absolutely insane.
So according to my calculations, it should be somewhere up here. Let me turn my render distance up. Oh, there it is, right there. Yeah, it's right there, it's right there. Oh my god, I can't believe I figured it out.
Well, the only way
to get to the Nether Fortress is by bridging, so that's exactly what the speedrunner does. But they end up doing something that makes this speedrun completely fake. Well, just watch it for yourself.
So now I'm gonna have to build over there, I guess. I'm not really good at the bridging stuff. Oh no, oh no, oh no! Oh my god! I'm burning! I'm burning!
But hold on just a second. You see, I currently have 0 subscribers, and it's always been my dream to one day reach 1 subscriber. So if you could be my first subscriber, that would genuinely mean the world to me. The speedrunner fell into the lava and somehow has not lost a single heart. But how did they do this? Well, if we rewind the footage all the way back to whenever they were in the overworld and pause it here, we can see that the speedrunner had resistance, which makes the speedrunner completely invincible, which is obviously cheating. And not only that, if we zoom in right here, we can see that the speedrunner's leather boots are now enchanted, which somehow places obsidian everywhere they walk above the lava, which is something I've never seen before. Well, the speedrunner walks all the way over towards the Nether Fortress and begins building up. But wait just a second, did you see that? Well, if we rewind the footage and then play it again from right here, we can see that as the speedrunner was building up, they ran out of blocks, but then suddenly gained another stack, which means that the speedrunner likely went inside of creative, but just cut it out of the speedrun. Well, now that the speedrunner has finally arrived at the top, they do something absolutely hilarious. Well, just watch it for yourself.
We made it! Yay! Yay! Know what that calls for? Another emote! Oh yeah? Oh yeah! We made it! To the fortress! Yeah, we made it! Yeah, to the fortress! To the fortress! To the fortress! Yahoo!
Okay, this speedrunner is absolutely insane. Well, now that they're at the Nether Fortress, they begin exploring where they suddenly find this golden netherrack block. And then they find another and another, which leads them directly to a blaze spawner, which makes me believe that the speedrunner placed these here inside the fortress before they began the speedrun, so that way they wouldn't get lost. Well, now that they're at the blaze spawner, I want you to just watch what they do next.
Oh my god, there's the blazy thing! Alright, can you please spawn blazes? That way I can kill them, please. Oh, thank you! Die, blaze, die! Oh my god, that was a hard fight, but I managed to kill the blaze. Oh my god, blazes! Die, blazes, die! Oh my goodness, these blazes are so hard to fight!
Just like the iron golem that didn't attack them earlier in the speedrun, the blazes are also not attacking them. But the only time that mobs don't attack you is whenever you're in peaceful mode. But the speedrunner is losing a bar of hunger, so they're clearly not in peaceful. So my only assumption is that the speedrunner is probably using a mod that makes it so that way mobs don't attack them inside of their speedrun, which once again would be against the rules of speedrunning. The speedrunner eventually grabs 5 blaze rods, and once they start killing the 6th one, we can see that they suddenly picked up a stack of ender pearls. Okay, this speedrunner isn't even trying to hide the fact that they're cheating anymore, because this is so obvious. Well, they eventually grab 6 blaze rods, and that's when they decide to turn their blaze rods into blaze powder to make themselves 12 eyes of ender. But hold on just a second. Do you see that? Well, right here, we can see what appears to be a nether portal. How does the speedrunner have a nether portal inside of their inventory? I think I must have missed an update. Well, now that the speedrunner has a nether portal inside of their inventory, they place it down and head back into the overworld. But just watch what happens next.
Oh my god, I'm in the stronghold! I'm in the stronghold! My nether portal led me here! Oh, I guess my nether portal glitched or something. I don't know where it went.
The speedrunner is now somehow inside of the stronghold, but there is no nether portal to be seen, which makes me believe that the speedrunner went inside their nether portal and flew all the way over to the stronghold, but just cut it out, which is very suspicious. Well, the speedrunner places in all of their eyes of ender, and once they're in the end, they build up and head towards the middle of the island. They then look into the eyes of an enderman, which for some reason the enderman just doesn't care, and then they wait for the ender dragon to purge, when suddenly out of nowhere the speedrun cuts and the ender dragon is nowhere to be seen. And listen to their reaction.
What the heck? Well, see you later, alligator.
Well,
Well, I guess the speedrunner beat the speedrun with a time of 13 minutes and 54 seconds. Yeah, so even cheating, the speedrunner still could not beat the world record for the fastest speedrun. That was genuinely embarrassing. This speedrunner loads into the world, and immediately we see a desert temple and also a desert village out in the distance, which is a very good spawn for a speedrun. But we can already tell that something is fake. You see, if we look at their coordinates in the top left, they are not at 0, 0, which means that this is not a normal spawn. Well, the speedrunner immediately heads towards the pyramid, and they begin digging their way down. Once at the bottom, they loot all 4 chests that all have completely normal loot, but each chest does have 1 diamond each, which is incredibly suspicious, but it's not impossible. But once the speedrunner finishes looting the pyramid, they begin building and breaking their way out of the pyramid. And once they exit the pyramid, they begin making their way towards the village. But wait just a second. Did you say that? Well, in case you didn't, if we rewind the footage and then pause it here, we can see what appears to be a strider. But you see, striders can only spawn inside of snowy biome, which means a strider being here is completely impossible. Well, as the speedrunner starts heading towards the village, they break some dead bushes, which gives them a few sticks, which is actually a thing that a lot of pro speedrunners tend to do. So this part seems pretty legit. Well, the speedrunner arrives at the village, but wait, I just now noticed something that I didn't notice before. And in case you haven't noticed it either, here, I'll show you. You see, on the left side of the screen, we can see a player trying to blend in with the sand in the background. And whenever you're speedrunning, you have to make sure that you're in a single player world. So if they're playing with another person, then this immediately makes the speedrun completely fake. And whenever the speedrunner gets inside one of the village's houses, we can see the speedrunner's friend change their skin inside chat. And you're not gonna believe what they do next. Well, the speedrunner breaks the crafting table and then finds a chest that has some iron and some bread. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Well, the speedrunner places down their crafting table and then they make themselves an iron pickaxe and diamond boots. The speedrunner then breaks the crafting table and then starts exploring more of the village. But wait just a second. Did you see what I just saw? Well, in case you didn't, if we rewind the footage and then play the video from here, we can see a villager walk right by them. Except this isn't a normal villager, as I'm pretty sure this is the speedrunner's friend that we saw earlier trying to blend in with the sand. And at first, I didn't even notice that this was a fake villager. Well, the speedrunner explores more of the village and then starts breaking some hay bales. They also start mining some potatoes, where once again we can see this fake villager that we saw earlier. And if you think that this villager is fake, just see what they do next. Well, the speedrunner breaks all of the potatoes, and then we suddenly see a pressure plate on the ground. But the only thing is that pressure plates do not naturally spawn, as they can only be crafted. And of course, the speedrunner steps on the pressure plate, where they suddenly get launched 800 blocks into the sky. But wait just a minute. You see, I only have 32 subscribers, and I really want to reach 33. So if just one of you subscribe, then I could finally reach my dream of 33 subscribers. But when they eventually start falling back down, they're in a completely different area. Because before they were in a desert, and now we can see them in a plains biome. But how could they have possibly done this? Well, I'm not too sure. But the speedrunner falls back down and lands in some water. And once they get out of the water, they then find a ruin portal that is only missing 1 piece of obsidian. So the speedrunner loots the ruin portal chest, which has a flint and steel, a piece of gold, a golden chest plate, and 1 obsidian, of course. So the speedrunner places in the 1 obsidian and lights the nether portal. Once they load into the nether, we can see that they spawn right next to a nether fortress. But if we play the video for 5 more seconds, we can see that this is clearly not a normal nether fortress. So I'm pretty sure the speedrunner just went inside a creative and built their own nether fortress, which in case you're new to Minecraft is just simply not legit. But the speedrunner goes up the staircase, where they suddenly find a piglin. Something about this piglin tells me that it's not real, and you'll see why I say this in just a sec. So the speedrunner opens up their inventory, grabs a piece of gold, and drops it to the piglin. The piglin, of course, examines the gold and drops them an enchanted diamond sword. Okay, this is obviously fake, but that's not even the craziest part, because you see, the diamond sword has sharpness 3000. I didn't even know that was an enchantment inside of Minecraft. Well, the speedrunner walks away from the piglin and goes outside, where they find a blaze. Guys, am I the only one seeing that this is clearly not a real blaze? Well, the very real blaze attacks the speedrunner, and then the speedrunner just one-hits it. And the blaze, of course, drops blaze rods. But how many blaze rods? Well, let's see. The blaze dropped a stack of blaze rods, because of course. Well, the speedrunner now has all of the blaze rods that they need, so they leave the nether, and once they're back in the overworld, they go around in circles for a little bit until they suddenly start dropping down below into a cave. Now, when I watched this part for the first time, I was very confused.
confused. Because why would the speedrunner go inside of a completely random cave? Well, you'll see why they do this in just a moment. Well, the speedrunner drops down below, and we can see what appears to be a stone brick tunnel. Which, if you know anything about Minecraft, you know that stone brick usually means that it's a stronghold. But the only problem is that they're at Y level 38, and strongholds can only appear at Y level 16 or below, which makes this part of the speedrun completely fake. Well, the speedrunner walks towards the stronghold and mines their way in, and that's when we can see that the end portal is already lit and it's made out of diamonds and amethyst? Guys, how is this even possible? Everybody knows that end portals are made from end frames and not diamonds, which confirms that this part of the speedrun is very, very fake. Well, the speedrunner begins to jump into the portal, but wait, do you see what I see? Well, in case you don't, here, I'll show you. Behind the iron bars, we can see what appears to be a villager, which once again, I have a weird suspicion could be the speedrunner's friend that we saw all throughout the speedrun so far. Well, the speedrunner enters the end, and once they load in, they build up with hay bales and begin searching for the ender dragon. But the speedrunner runs up towards the ender dragon and hits it one time, which somehow kills it. I had no idea that sharpness 3000 was this OP. Well, now that the ender dragon is dead, the speedrunner jumps into the portal and finishes the speedrun with a time of 6 minutes and 24 seconds, giving them the new world record. This speedrunner starts inside of a plains biome, and we can also see what appears to be a village on the right side of the screen, which is actually a pretty lucky spawn, especially for a speedrun. But that's not all, just listen to what the speedrunner says.
Oh my god. Oh, is that another portal? Oh my god, right next to a village? That's literally so lucky.
The speedrunner is actually right. This is a very lucky spawn, which makes this speedrun start out very, very suspicious. Well, the speedrunner makes her way towards another portal when this happens.
Hopefully, another portal has like super good loot. Oh my goodness, a chest?
But wait, before they open the chest, did you see that? Well, if we rewind the footage and pause it here, there are 2 diamond blocks in this ruin portal, and a normal ruin portal always has 1 gold block. So something leads me to believe that the speedrunner built this portal themselves. But that's not all, because what they find inside the chest is absolutely crazy.
My goodness, a chest? Oh, enchanted golden apple! Oh my goodness, I got so lucky! Oh, my loot now.
Okay, enchanted golden apples are extremely lucky, I can't lie. But at the same time, this is very possible that this is legit, so I have no proof that this part of the speedrun is fake.
I have enough obsidian to build the portal, and boom! Oh, but wait, I can't break the crying obsidian. Well, whatever.
Since the speedrunner can't break the crying obsidian, they make their way towards the village.
Alright, let's see if the village has any good loot for me. Oh my goodness, a blacksmith? Oh, what the heck? There's no loot inside a blacksmith? Oh my goodness, whatever. Stupid villager blacksmith.
You see, this part is very weird considering these chests always have loot inside of them. But why would the speedrunner take all of the loot out of the chest? Well, I'm not too sure. But the speedrunner does need food, so they begin by destroying the villager's farm. But what happens next is very, very weird.
Alright, I need food, so I need to get all of the beetroots. That way I cannot be hungry at all, ever again. Hello, Mr. Villager. Hello. Get out of here. Stupid villager, you little dumb villager.
Did you see that? Well, in case you didn't, let me rewind the footage and pause it here. We can see a player dressed up in a cow costume inside of a pen with other cows. And at first, I didn't even notice him. But the weirdest part is that cows cannot even spawn inside of the plains biome, because everybody knows that they can only spawn inside of snowy biome. So a cow being here in the first place is completely impossible. Well, the speedrunner ignores the cow and begins looting more of the village.
Alright, hopefully the other houses actually have good loot, because I literally need good loot to beat the speedrun.
But wait just a second. You see, it's always been my dream to one day reach 100,000 subscribers, and I am currently 84% of the way there. So if you would like to help me become one step closer towards my dream, then please consider subscribing.
Alright, chest. Oh my goodness, only 4 apples? Are you serious? Only 4 apples? Oh, stupid, dumb, stupid villager house. So stupid.
But wait, did you see that? The speedrunner is holding an iron pickaxe. But if you look at the footage from 10 seconds ago, they did not have an iron pickaxe, and the chest only had apples. So where did they get an iron pickaxe? Well, if we rewind the footage back when they were looting the chest, the window on their left suddenly breaks, and we can see someone throw an iron pickaxe for the speedrunner, which I have a weird feeling could have been the cow that we saw earlier. But we can't physically see the cows, so it's only speculation. The speedrunner then decides that they're gonna go back towards the ruined portal until something very, very weird happens.
Well, at least I have an iron pickaxe so I can go mine the diamonds in the portal because I got super lucky and that it's diamonds and not gold. Alright, diamonds, prepare to not be diamonds anymore and to prepare going with my inventory.
But wait just a second. Do you see what I see? Well, if you don't, here, I'll show you. Earlier in the speedrun, there was crying obsidian. And if you look at the portal now, there's no crying obsidian. But we never watched the speedrunner break the crying obsidian to begin with. And that's not even the craziest part. Just watch what happens next.
I'm pretty sure I left flint and steel in here earlier. Oh, I did. Oh my, thank goodness gracious that I left that in there for that one that is for.
The chest somehow had a flint and steel, but earlier the speedrunner took every single item out of the chest, so something isn't adding up. The speedrunner lights the nether portal and enters the nether, and says this.
Oh my goodness, I'm in the nether! Wait, what the heck? This is a terrible nether spawn! Oh, wait a minute. No way! I spawned at a ruined portal! That's literally so lucky! Hopefully this ruined portal just has a super good loot. Oh my god, I got diamond boots and gold? Oh, I got speedy boots? Oh my goodness!
Speedy boots? Are you kidding me? You see, it's impossible to find golden boots that have a name that's not golden boots. So how does a speedrunner find boots that say speedy boots? I'm not too sure. Well, the speedrunner equips these golden boots and begins zooming around the map until something unexpected happens.
I'm literally so fast! I'm so fast! Oh my goodness! The speed is so fast and so quick! Oh wait! Oh my god! No! Oh my goodness, if I didn't have the enchanted golden apple, I would probably be dead. Wait, but where am I?
The speedrunner accidentally fell into the lava with only a half a heart to spare. So it's a good thing they had that enchanted golden apple. But now that they're in a weird place, this is very, very suspicious. I mean, just watch what happens next.
Oh my god, is that a piglet? Oh my god, it's the piglin! Wait, do I have gold? Oh, I have 7 gold. Here you go. Is that enough for super good loot? Oh my goodness, ender eyes! Oh my goodness, 9 ender eyes. You wanna give me one more, please? Thank you. Thank you! Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Mr. Piglin. Thank you so much, Mr. Piglin. Here's a hay bale just for you.
Wow, that was pretty nice of the speedrunner to give the piglin a hay bale. But seriously, there is no way the speedrunner expected anyone to believe that this was real. And also, piglins cannot even drop Eyes of Ender, as they can only drop Ender Pearls. But the craziest part has still yet to come.
Alright, wait a minute, but how am I gonna get out of here? I guess I'm just, oh my goodness, is that the nether portal? Oh, that's literally so lucky.
The speedrunner found an already lit nether portal, which is physically impossible to find in normal Minecraft. So someone definitely went in here and just placed down a whole nether portal before they began the speedrun.
Oh my goodness, wait a minute. Am I in the stronghold?
There is no way that nether portal led them to the stronghold. I refuse to believe it. But wait a minute, I just realized something. If we look at this frame right here and look a little closer at the nether portal, we can see that the nether portal's teleportation area is 3 blocks wide, when a normal nether portal is only 2 blocks wide, which means that this portal was built by a person and not naturally generated. But that's not even the most fake part of this speedrun.
What the heck? That's literally so lucky. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. I have 10 Eyes of Ender and I need exactly 10. Oh my goodness. That piglin was literally so nice that he did that for me. That was literally like the nicest thing that I think I've ever seen a piglin do in like my whole entire life of my entire life.
The speedrunner had 10 Eyes of Ender, which was the exact amount that they needed, which by itself is very suspicious. But you know what's even more suspicious that I bet you didn't see is that if we rewind the footage and then pause it here, something about this frame right here is completely fake. And if you haven't seen it yet, here, I'll show you. On the right side of the screen, we see someone with a black skin crouching. I reviewed this speedrun 6 separate times without ever noticing that someone was right there. Well, now that the speedrunner finished the portal, portal, they jump in and say this.
Oh my goodness, that's a long fall. Time for me to do hay bale clutch. I saw Dream do that one time, like long ago, and then he hay bale clutch, so I know how to do it.
But wait, I want you to subscribe if you think that they're gonna fail it, and like the video if you think they're gonna do it first try. Okay, well, here's what happened.
And hiya! What the heck? Okay, I was literally like lagging. I would have had it if I wasn't lagging, so that's the only reason why I didn't do it is because I was lagging.
Yeah, of course they completely failed the hay bale clutch, because let's be honest, everyone saw that coming. Okay, the speedrunners said that they were lagging, but let's be honest, they're just bad at hay bale clutching. And they failed, so if you saw them fail that hay bale clutch, that means you have to subscribe. Also, this part coming up is the craziest part of this entire speedrun.
Alright, and boom. Wait a minute. Where the heck is the Ender Dragon at? Ender Dragon! Oh, Ender Dragon! Oh, there's the Ender Dragon! Oh my goodness, Ender Dragon! Get down here and fight me, Ender Dragon! I'm gonna beat the Ender Dragon up with my shovel. It's perching, it's perching, it's perching! Hiya! Die, Dragon, die! Ah, he got me, but he won't get me next time. Get down here, Ender Dragon! You're not gonna win this one! Hiya! Hiya, Ender Dragon, die! Get back here, Ender Dragon! I'm the most bestest. I'm better than Dream. Get over here, Ender Dragon! Ender Dragon! Ender Dragon?
There is no way that the Ender Dragon just died of fall damage. And also, let's be honest, that was just clearly their friend flying around with an elytra, and not the real Ender Dragon. Well, now that the speedrunner has slain the Ender Dragon, they jump into the portal and finish the speedrun with a time of 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Now, this speedrunner starts by loading into the world, where immediately we can see a village, which for a speedrun, that is a pretty good spawn. Well, the speedrunner immediately heads over to the village and begins breaking down this villager's house for some wood. They turn the wood into a crafting table to make themselves a wooden axe. They then break their crafting table and find the iron golem. But whenever they attack the iron golem, something insane happens. Well, just watch it for yourself.
Oh, there he is, there he is. Come here, iron golem. Hiya! Okay. Hold on, I gotta build up. Okay, come here, iron golem. Oh my god, what the heck? What the heck? Oh! I'm on half a heart!
Did that iron golem just build blocks? Never in my 83 years of living have I ever seen an iron golem place down blocks. So something tells me that this is not a real iron golem, and instead it might be the speedrunner's friend using a mod to turn themselves into an iron golem. And this even further proves my point based on what they do next.
I'm on half a heart! Iron golem, please! Iron golem! Oh no! Oh, come here, iron golem. Oh, you fell in a hole, you stupid little iron golem. Take that, iron golem. Hiya! Hiya! Oh, that stupid iron golem. Thank you for the 29 iron! Holy moly macaroni!
The speedrunner killed the iron golem, which dropped them 29 iron ingots. But a normal iron golem can only drop a maximum of 5 iron ingots, which means that this iron golem is 100% fake. Well, the speedrunner finds a blacksmith, and of course they head inside and loot the chest, which has some normal loot. But I want you to listen to what the speedrunner says.
Hopefully this blacksmith has like super good loot. Okay. Oh, we got some apples, some gold, and some apples, and some gold, and some iron. Oh, that was a fantastic chest. Oh, what the heck is in my hand? Are we serious right now? Actually, I am kind of hungry. I'll be eating that. Mr. Villager, I don't feel so good, Villager. That did not feel good.
How did the speedrunner magically gain a piece of poop? Well, if we rewind the footage and then play it again from right here, we can see that there is a player in the window. And this player breaks the window and drops the speedrunner a piece of poo. And something tells me that this player is the iron golem that we saw earlier. And that would immediately disqualify the speedrun as being legit. Because whenever you speedrun, you always have to make sure that you are in a single player world. Well, now that the speedrunner for some reason ate the poop, they exit the blacksmith and place down their crafting table to
make themselves an iron sword, an iron chest plate, iron pants, iron boots, and an iron helmet. So now they have full iron armor, which for the start of a speedrun is actually extremely good. But once again, I just want you to listen to what the speedrunner says.
Oh my goodness. I just ran out of food. I need more food. Oh, hay bales, hay bales! Hay bales are like the best food in the entire world. Hay bales are so cool. Hay bales are like one of my favorite hay bales. I love hay bales. Okay. Now I need to go back to my crafting table to make some bread.
Did you see that? Well, if we rewind the footage and then pause it right here, we can see what appears to be a, what the heck is this? Yeah, I have never seen a mob like this in my entire life, which once again makes me believe that it's the speedrunner's friend that we keep on seeing throughout the speedrun. Where the speedrunner heads back to their crafting table and makes themselves 15 bread. They of course break their crafting table and begin exploring more of the village until they find something absolutely insane. Well, just watch it for yourself.
Okay, what do we have? Anything at all? What the heck? Is that a sniffer? What the heck, sniffer? Oh, bye-bye, sniffer. Thank you for the nether portal. That's such a nice sniffer. He's so nice. Bye, sniffer. Bye.
Yeah, we just saw a sniffer building a nether portal. And not only that, the nether portal is extremely small, because this is what a normal nether portal looks like. And it is physically impossible to get another portal that looks like this unless you have mods, which once again is against the rules of speedrunning. Well, the speedrunner begins heading into the nether, but wait just a second. You see, I currently have 0 subscribers, and it's always been my dream to one day reach 1 subscriber. So if you would like to be my first subscriber, then that would genuinely make my entire day. But once a speedrunner is inside the nether, they spawn inside of a fortress, which is extremely lucky. But if we look down inside the chat, the speedrunner did gain the advancement a terrible fortress, which means that this is the speedrunner's first time entering the fortress, which makes me believe that this part could actually be real, but I'll let you watch it for yourself.
Oh my goodness, I spawned inside of the nether fortress. That's so lucky. Well, come here, you little iron blaze. Oh my goodness, so many blazes, so many blazes. I've never seen so many blazes in my entire life.
For some reason, none of the blazes are moving. And if I'm being completely honest, I have no idea how they did this. So if you know how they did this, then please let me know, because I am so confused. But once a speedrunner kills 27 blazes, they eventually get 6 blaze rods. So now all they need are ender pearls. But the way that the speedrunner gets ender pearls is absolutely insane. Well, I'll just let you watch it for yourself.
So now all I need are ender pearls. Where the heck can I get an ender pearl? Oh, is that an enderman? Come here, enderman, come here! Get back here, enderman, get back here! Ha 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 ha! It's a dead end, enderman. Give me your balls. Thank you. Oh my god, there's so many balls, there's so many balls! I'll spare you this time, enderman.
The speedrunner chased the enderman all the way until they got to a dead end. And the enderman, begging for its life, just ended up dropping a bunch of ender pearls. But in case you couldn't tell, this enderman is not a real enderman, because this is the same exact player that we have been seeing throughout the entire speedrun. Well, now that the speedrunner has 16 ender pearls and 6 blaze rods, they go back to the portal, and once they're in the overworld, they turn their blaze rods into blaze powder and make themselves 12 eyes of ender. But now for this next part, I just want you to watch this for yourself.
Oh, stronghold. Oh, it's over there, it's over there, it's over there. I think I'm gonna go in this direction. I don't really want to go over there. Actually, I was getting kind of thirsty. I think I'm gonna drink some of this water. It's so thirsty. Oh.
What the heck? How did this fountain of water bring the speedrunner to the end? Okay, if I'm being honest, this has gotta be the fakest speedrun I have ever seen. Well, once the speedrunner is inside of the end, we can see the same player that we saw at the blacksmith earlier inside of the speedrun. But I'm just gonna let you watch this next part for yourself.
Is that the poop man? Oh, he's building me a bridge. Oh, thank you, poop man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Poop man, I've never ever beat the Ender Dragon before. Can you help me beat the Ender Dragon? What? Oh, poop man! No!
Are we they being serious right now? The Poop Man built the bridge for the speedrunner to get to the island, but it's not gonna help them defeat the Ender Dragon. Nope. Well, at least the speedrunner is gonna beat the Ender Dragon without cheating, right? But I'll just let you watch this next part for yourself.
Guess I'm gonna have to do it myself. Get over here, Ender Dragon! Get down here, Ender Dragon! Oh my god! Oh, I dodged it. He's not perching. Oh god, this Ender Dragon is taking way too long to perch. What a stupid little Ender Dragon. Finally, the Ender Dragon's perching! Get over here, stupid Ender Dragon! Oh, ow, ow! No, 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 no! Hiya! Oh my god, I almost died, but I clutched up with my Ender Pearl. Oh, ow, ow! Enderman, stop it! Stop it, Enderman! I have to kill the Ender Dragon! Please, stop it! Let me kill the Ender Dragon! Oh, the stupid Enderman! That's it, I quit,
The speedrunner waited 2 whole minutes for the Ender Dragon to perch, and once it did, they just died to an Enderman. And from that point on, they just completely give up on the speedrun, which is extremely embarrassing.
If you enjoyed that video, I can almost guarantee you that you're gonna like this video as well. So if I were you, I would click it.